It's not because I'm so super spiritual, but it is because of those last 5 words in verse 13. The reason why I am where I am, but the Lord helped me. Oh, somebody catch a hold to that. They were digging ditches, but the Lord helped me. They were plotting and scheming, but the Lord helped me. They were lying and conniving, but the Lord helped me. I almost threw in the towel, but the Lord helped me. I said I ain't going back no more, but the Lord helped me. I almost messed myself up, but the Lord helped me. I want to say anybody here tonight who know that you are where you are because the Lord has helped you. I want to say anybody know tonight that He's brought you out of a horrible situation. If you're in here tonight and you can be with this, why don't you high five somebody and tell them I never would have made it, but the Lord helped me. The same man that wrote these words is the same man that 3 songs later you can hear him say, I will lift my eyes to the hills from which come my help. All of my help comes from the Lord. And the same man inspired the hymnologists to come along and say, Father, I stretch my hand to thee. No other help I know. And he said, the reason that I get happy every day is because I got reasons to be thankful. I got a God that can be trusted. My God has moved me from trouble to triumph. And I kept on reading, and in verse 19 through 21 he declares the reason why I rejoice every day, the reason why I'll get happy every day is because I'll be blessed by the worship in the temple. Notice, if you would, in verses 1 through 18, he's rejoicing because he's thankful. He's rejoicing because he's got a God that can be trusted. He's rejoicing because he's been moved from trouble to triumph. But I need for you to see, and he says in verses 1 through 18, all of that is happening before I get to church. I got to kiss it. He said, I'll rejoice before I get to church. But then in verse 19, he says, I'm going in the temple and I'm going to be blessed by the worship in the temple. In verses 1 through 18, he's on his way to church and he's shouting on his way to church. He's getting happy on his way to church. And in verse 19, he says, open to me the gates of of righteousness. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to shout some more. Oh, y'all didn't kiss that. He said, when I get to church, I'm going to go in and shout some more. So you got to understand that on his way to church, he's already rejoicing. On his way to church, he's already shouting. And by the time he gets to church, he's ready to shout some more with the saints. Because they've been shouting on their way to church. Can I tell you tonight, what helps church be real good is when you start having church before you get to church. If you're not waiting on somebody else to move you and get you stirred up, you have church before you get to church. And then you'll come in with your hands clapping. You'll come in with your mouth filled with praise. You'll come in with your feet dancing. I wonder, is there anybody here that had a little church before you got to church? I wonder, is there anybody here that shouted glory before you got to church? Just to get you ready for church. Just start thinking about somebody said, how can I have church before I get to church? Just start thinking about what you got to be thankful for. I wonder, is there anybody here who did not wait till you got here to start giving God praise? I wonder if there's anybody here who don't have to wait for all in the place, but you can have church all by yourself. I'll praise him before I get there. I'll praise him in the living room. I'll praise him in the grocery store. I'll praise him in the doctor's office. I'll praise him. Oh, shucks, y'all ain't catching this.